Hello, subscribers. This is yours truly, JBlue68, coming to you with my actual final video for 2020. I know I did say I did post rather, my final comic book haul. And also I posted an additional video for my final Comic Con for 2020. But this is separate, and I indicated that I would do my top 10 comic books for the year, the horrific year of 2020. And I'm sorry to say that, not trying to be I'm not trying to sound narcissistic or anything like that, but it has been a bad year. I'm hoping that, of course, that 2021 will be better. Of course, I should do a top 20, but I'm just going to keep it simple and plain and keep it at 10 comic books. Before I get into this video, I do want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, and I truly mean that. Because believe me when I tell you, there's times I don't feel like doing this. Times I felt like giving up and not doing this at all. But this is a world that I'm very much into, 100%. I very much enjoy it. I'm very much inspired by it. And I feel that I can inspire someone else, by doing this with this hobby that I've had for many, many, many years now. And I'm glad to share my world with others who appreciate it. So that's why I do it, and haven't given up on it yet. But sometimes, again, I feel like it. But thank you for everyone who's commented on my channel and who have actually been an inspiration to me, as well as other YouTubers that I've watched who've been an inspiration. Well, no more sob stories. I want to get into this haul and say this video too is not intended for children. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you can get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Well, our first book is from a comic book industry that has been doing very well and actually has become my number one. Yes, I'm always going to be a Marvel man unless I do like DC Comics as well. But Boom Studios has been booming for the year 2020. And this is one book that I definitely have enjoyed reading, 7 Secrets by Tom Taylor. Daniel Di Nicuolo and Walter Diamante are contributors to this book, to this series. And I have to say, too, that the books that I show are in no particular chronological order. I just pick the books out randomly as I see them in the series, if they belong to a series at all. Which most of them, or probably all of them, do. But this is 7 Secrets, and it's kind of like The Matrix meets James Bond on steroids. And it's very good. They are actually protecting 7 secrets, this young man right here and his family, as well as the organization that he belongs to. This is a breakout comic from Boom Studios. Very much enjoying it. And this is my top 10. This is my number 10, I should say. I'm counting backwards, starting from 10, and I'll work my way to number 1. So this is number 10 right here. Okay, and at number 9, Thor by Donnie Cates. And Donnie Cates, as I've said so many times before, is on fire. He's kind of like become the Prince or Michael Jackson of comic books right now, working on several projects. And this is his take on Thor. He's taken it over since Jason Aaron has left. And Jason Aaron is pursuing other projects. In fact, one of his books will be in this series. But Thor by Donnie Cates, with contributors Nick Klein and Matt Wilson, I believe, are artists on this book. Very good book to read. Highly encourage you to pick it up at your comic book store. Seriously. So that's number 8. Number 7 is DC Comics Dark Knights Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knights. This book right here, wow. Very epic series. No loose ends, and definitely really out there when it comes to a DC comic book. I'm very much enjoying it. It is definitely an epic series and made its way into my top 10, as you can obviously see. Keep it up, DC. This is how you should be writing comics. All right. But that's not the only DC comic in my haul. And at number 6, and I just mentioned him, Jason Aaron, the former writer of Thor. And this is The Goddamned. And I've raved about this book before. Yes, it is a curse word, but the title itself is not meant to just use profanity for the sake of of being rude or using a curse word. It actually is about the damned, and biblical references and a lot of biblical references and mythology in this story. For those who are interested in this type of book, I very much recommend it. The Virgin Brides, again by Jason Aaron, with R.M. Guerra and Giulio Brusco as contributors to the story. It's a very brutal book, not for anyone who's lighthearted or easily offended. Please believe me when I tell you that. Not for children at all. All right. But again, highly recommended. Okay, so and at number 5, Strange Academy. And this is from Marvel Comics. And this book basically a spin out or spin off of the imaginings of Doctor Strange, or not really just his imaginings, but him taking on young apprentices in an academy, similar to Charles Xavier, who took on the mutants and created the X-Men. Well, these are young sorcerers who he's helping them to hone their powers. It's kind of like Harry Potter meets Marvel Universe, with a lot of first appearances and very cool characters, including this young man here who's the son of Dormammu. I hope you can see that very clearly. The artwork is fantastic. Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos and Edgar Delgado are contributors to this story. I have a feeling this book will eventually make its way into the into Disney Plus, become a Disney Plus series at some point in time. At least I hope so. Very exciting series to read. Okay, so. And at number 5, The Ice Cream Man. And this is from Image Comics. And you can see that very creepy cover there. And this is a very creepy story. This is kind of like, what I want to say, the X-Files and Twilight Zone on page. But it's not copying from any of those particular stories. It's a story within its own, has its own premises. It has its own agenda. Or I won't say agenda, but it has its own, holds on its own as a solid story and a story that doesn't copy those particular franchises that I mentioned, but definitely very much like them. And each story is actually different from the other. If you like horror comics, this is definitely one to read. And I've been following it for some time now. Highly recommend it. Image Comics, The Ice Cream Man. All right. And then, I'll make sure I don't lose count here. Number 4, We Only Find Them When They're Dead, written by Al Ewing, who I met at Chicago Comic Con about a year ago. And he's worked strongly with Marvel Comics. In fact, he's a writer of, the Immortal Hulk. And this is from Boom Studios, who I mentioned are booming. They have been coming out with like hit after hit after hit. We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Basically, the premises of this story are a bunch of space gods who are found dead in space, and human beings are scavenging their body for their body parts to sell for profit. Something like that. Pirates, basically, or they become pirates and salvage the body parts of these giant dead space gods for profit to make a living. It's more to it than that, but the next few books have not come out yet, and they're working towards, I guess, a conclusion or continuance of the story, and I'm waiting to see where it goes. We Only Find Them When They're Dead. And at number 3, a story I have raved about in a previous video from the DC Black Label series, Wonder Woman Dead Earth. Man, this is a hell of a story to read. I've never thought I would read a Wonder Woman comic book based off of, with the type of storyline and premises that it has. Has a very surreal feeling about it, very organic. This is written by Daniel Warren Johnson with Mike Spicer. The artwork is fantastic and it serves the story very well. It was very much a thrill to read it. and I'm hoping and praying that they continue this story, because the way it ended, they could actually continue it in another sequel, have a sequel to the story. But to my understanding, the DC Black Label will be ending this year, I believe. I'm hoping and praying, fingers crossed, that they will continue this story and as well continue the Black Label with DC Comics. But fantastic story to read. And again, another very brutal story when it comes to Wonder Woman. Surprising turnabout in this story when it comes to certain characters. Things I never expected to happen in a DC comic book. Wow. At number 2, The Red Mother. And all my comic books are basically creepy comic books. This is another creepy comic book by Jeremy Hahn from Boom Studios. Again, Denny Luckhart. And this story started off as a slow burn. Again, reminded me of a Twilight Zone series and an X-Files series as well. But it stands out on its own as a very unique story. Basically dealing with a woman who has been attacked. She loses an eye. Something happens to her boyfriend, and she's haunted by this menace creature that has an organization that has other plans for her. There's a lot more to the story than just that. I don't want to give too much away, but definitely highly recommended for reading. It's a psychological thriller, and you would love it. And this is my number 2. And at number 1, Something is Killing the Children. Yes, I've talked about this book so many times, and this is also under Boom Studios, written by James Tynion IV, Werther del Edera, and Miguel Muerto. Exciting series. The title is not the very much enthusiastic or exciting or thrilling, because it's not something that we would want to happen to a child. But the story itself, the premises of the story is what's exciting. This book really reminds me of, I don't know, I would say probably the X-Files, one of the scariest episodes of the X-Files, but a little bit different, combined with a bunch of other stories I probably read, Children of the Corn, and probably what is his name, King, what is the guy's name? Oh my God. Whenever I'm filming a video, I always lose what my frame of thought sometimes. But very good, very exciting book to read. I'm glad that I found it. I actually was inspired to read this book from watching another guy's channel, Rock and Robbie Billups, some comic book philosophers. Not recommended for children, but definitely recommended for those who like scary, creepy stories. So, anyway, let's go back and do my top 10 again, all my books that I have. This is number 1, my number 1. And number 2, The Red Mother. Number 3, Wonder Woman Dead Earth. Okay. Number 4, We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Number 5, The Ice Cream Man. Number 6, Strange Academy. Number 7, The Goddamned. Number 8, DC's Death Metal. Number 8, Thor. And back to number 10, The 7 Secrets. So this is my video, my last video of the year. Actually, the last one. And again, my top 10 comics of the year. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe and comment. I hope to see you guys within the new year. Again, if we have a planet, and continue doing this hobby that I very much enjoy. I'm inspired a lot of times by you all to continue to do this. Thank you so very much, everyone. Stay safe, stay secure. God bless. Read a comic book in these dark and uncertain times. Keep the light within you. This is the way. May the force be with you. Peace, love, and hair grease.